Hey, Shalom Israel, Brother Reggie Jr. here. So today, guys, I'm going to be reading Exodus chapter 16 and Exodus chapter 17, just picking up where I left off from last time. And if you guys can remember my previous lesson, we went over Exodus 15, which was the Song of Moses. And again, the Song of Moses is a song about victory and triumph over the enemy. Okay, it's a praise that we sang to the Most High. Okay. And the children of Israel, they sung that as a nation. And like I said, the Song of Moses is not necessarily new. We sing it even in our own personal lives. However, as the 12 tribes of Israel, as a whole, as a nation, we haven't sung that song in a very long time. But at the return of Christ, we will sing it again, as mentioned in the New Testament, okay, when he gives us victory over this fourth beast. Now, with that being said, towards the end of the Song of Moses, the Lord told Moses and Aaron, he said, look, I'm going to get ready to prove the children of Israel to see whether or not they trust me, to see whether or not they truly have faith in me. And I'm going to measure that by seeing whether or not they're obedient to me. But see, he's doing all this while trying to build more faith in the children of Israel. So that's what we're going to be looking at today in Exodus 16. So let's go ahead and get into it. Exodus 16, and I'm going to read verses 1 through 3 first. And it says, and they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai. So on the other side of this wilderness of Sin is literally Sinai. So they're super close to the promised land. It says, on the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. Okay, so now the Lord is going to get ready to prove the children of Israel. It says, and the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. So now we see that they're striving with Moses and Aaron. They're complaining now. Okay, and this is the Lord's doing. It's because the Lord has made the children of Israel uncomfortable. He put them in an uneasy situation, and now they're complaining. But let's see what method the Lord used to make the children of Israel uncomfortable and uneasy. Verse 3. And the children of Israel said unto them, so they said to Moses and Aaron, would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For you have brought us forth into this wilderness, where there's no food, water, nothing. It's barren, to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Okay, so now we see by which method or means in which the Lord discomforted Israel. Okay, he used hunger. He caused the children of Israel not to eat for a few days. Okay, he hit them right in the belly, and now they're complaining because all of this is being done, brothers and sisters, because he wanted to see what the children of Israel is made of. And the Lord does this to us even in our own personal life, brothers and sisters, because one thing that I know is this, and this was a quote I heard from an old timer, and it said, adversity introduces a man or a woman to his or herself. There's nothing like good old-fashioned adversity to see what you're really made of, because one thing that the Most High understands is that, when your bills are paid, everything on the job is going great, you have a great relationship with your friends, your family, your children are acting normal, you have your health, you have your neighbors are being friendly, kind, and warm to you. It's very easy to serve God under those type of conditions. It's very easy to show your faith and show your obedience when you're under those type of circumstances. The Most High, he knows this, brothers and sisters. When you're blessed, everything is going great, it's very easy to serve the Most High under those circumstances. However, Can you still serve God when things aren't going so great at the job? When your money getting low because all kind of weird stuff is happening and you having to spend all of this money. Then on top of all of this, you get sick. Then your friends that's supposed to be your friends talking about you behind your back, spreading stuff about you. Then all of a sudden your family, it seems like they're going against you all of a sudden. See, that's when the Lord wants to see. That's when he wants to see whether or not you can still serve him. Can you still have faith in me? Can you still be obedient to me? Can you still be kind to your brothers and sisters? Even when you going through pure hell, and I mean every letter of that word, Hell. When you're going through pure hell yourself, can you still encourage your brothers and sisters, even though you going through it? They don't even know you going through it, but you going through it, and you still get up and encourage your brothers and sisters. See, that's what the Lord is looking at. And see, adversity, trials, I call them God trials, but let's just call them trials for your sake. When you're going through a trial, that's when you really get to see who that man in the mirror really is. If you want to know how you really are, what you're really capable of, wait till you go through a trial. Then you will really see. But see, trials is where the work is. Trials is where the growth is. You can only grow when you're uncomfortable, right? And I'll tell you this, brothers and sisters, from my experience, you can train. This is training. You can train all day long. You will never improve your faith. You will never improve your integrity. You will never improve your patience, long suffering, temperance. You will never improve any of that as long as you train it. You can read this Bible all you want, brothers and sisters. That's just training. But you will only improve those attributes that I just named in the heat of the battle. Because, see, in training, you're reading about the heat of the battle. And so it don't seem that bad, right? But once you get in that war, once you get in that heat of the battle, once people trying to really take your head off, then you'll grow. Okay? It's like boxing, right? Your coach got the mitts, right? He say, give me a 1-2, 1-2. And then he say, I'm going to throw something and you going to duck it. And for whatever reason, he throw the 1-2, but for whatever reason, you just can't seem to get your head out the way when he throw that punch. Duck, boop, it keep hitting you. Boop, boop. And he telling you, you need to duck out the way. Boop, it just keep hitting you. Boop. And you think your coach is being mean. You're like, man, he's so hard on me. Until you get in the match. When your opponent is trying to take your head off your shoulders, then something magical happens. All of a sudden, you able to duck out of the way of those massive punches. Whoosh, just boom. You couldn't do it in practice for whatever reason, but now that you in the match, boom. And you know why? Survival instincts. Because if I don't duck this, my head gonna come right off my shoulders. And it's no different, brothers and sisters, in your spiritual life. The only known way to improve the fruits of the Spirit, brothers and sisters, is through God trials. You must go through a war. You must go through a battle. That is the only way that you can grow. It is okay to cry, brothers and sisters, when you're going through. You're only human. It's okay to cry. It's okay to punch a hole in the wall and get mad because you're human. That's okay. But once you get past that stage, you should be filled with excitement. You should be filled with vigor. Why? Because this is my chance to improve my fruits of the Spirit. You got temperament issues. When you're going through a situation that is really testing your temper, that's the chance. That's your only chance. Not your only chance, like you'll never go through that again, but that is your chance right there to work on your temperament. When the situation, when the war arises, that's your chance. This is my chance to improve it, because this is making me real angry right now, but I'm going to do something different this time. I'm going to ignore what the person is saying. Instead of, or if not ignore it, I'm going to still be kind to this person who's making me real upset. Why? Because this is going to improve my temperament. When somebody's being rude, being just an outright jackbutt to you, that's your chance to improve your kindness. When a person is doing something to you and you know they don't deserve an ounce of kindness, that's when you show the kindness. That's how you improve that attribute. You cannot train, brothers and sisters, you cannot train to improve it. You can only improve the fruits of the Spirit in the war. So when you're going through, be glad, be grateful. Yeah, you're going to cry. You're going to be upset at first, but be grateful. Be filled with vigor and vitality, knowing that this is my chance to work on those fruits. You can only improve it, brothers and sisters, like I keep saying, in the heat of the battle. And we don't like the heat of the battle. Why? Because that's where the work is. And we can't count it strange, brothers and sisters, when we go through these trials. Because through these trials, this is how we're going to make it into the kingdom, brothers and sisters. We must go through. There is no way around it. You must go through by all means. Christ went through it, and by God, we going to go through it. We must go through it. Why? Because we are the heirs of salvation. And when you are an heir of salvation, when you are heir to the kingdom, guess what? You're going to go through it. You must go through it. You must be put to the test, because God is not going to have another Satan in his kingdom. He's not dealing with another Lucifer, y'all. He ain't. So you will be put to the test, because God got to make sure you're counted worthy to enter in. Let's go real quick to Acts 14:22. 14:22, it says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. Brothers and sisters, you must continue in the faith. Regardless of what's going on in your situation right now, you have to trust that the Most High is going to see you through to the end. See, that trouble, that pain, it hasn't come to stay. It's come to pass. It's just getting through. That's it. It's just getting through, brothers and sisters. That's it. Just getting through it. That's it. The trouble ain't going to be here all the time. You're not going to stay crying. You're not going to stay feeling that pain. It's going to pass. You just got to endure, brothers and sisters. You just got to get through it. Okay? Says exhorting them to continue in faith, that that's me and you, brothers and sisters, though this was said thousands of years ago. This is for us, brothers and sisters, today. We must, through much tribulation or trials, or as I call them, God trials, through much tribulation, through many trials, and that much means, that much is plurality, brothers and sisters. The trial you're going through right now isn't your first trial, and it won't be your last trial. But through much tribulation, we going to enter into the kingdom of God. God putting us in a refinery, brothers and sisters. He putting us in the fire because we must be tried. We have to be counted worthy. Because again, like I said, as long as everything is all good, your bills paid, everything going great at the job, your children are acting normal, you got your perfect health, your relationships with your friends and family is going great. Hey man, it's easy to serve God under those conditions. God himself knows that. That's why he puts you in these trials, because he wants to see what you made of. And the Lord said, if your strength fail in the day of adversity, hey man, your strength was small. It was little. Because know this, brothers and sisters, we got some hard times coming up as a people, okay? This captivity we're going through, this punishment, this pain we're going through, it's going to reach a climax pretty soon. We already out of time, okay? And so God got to make sure we ready for the big stuff that's coming. If we can't endure this little stuff right now, we're not going to be ready for this big stuff that's coming. Where the enemy take you before a council and they all talk about you and they laugh you to scorn to your face. We got to be able to endure that, brothers and sisters. Some of us are going to be beaten for the gospel. Whipped. Some of us killed. Some of us jailed. Imprisoned. Some of us starved to death. Pulled apart. Beheaded. Some of us going to get it. We got to be able to endure that, brothers and sisters. So this stuff we going through right now, hey man, we got to get past this. And no, I'm not being heartless, because I too have my trials. There were times when I was teaching, I was going through some trials. But guess what, brothers and sisters? We got to keep it moving. It's okay to be hurt and be in pain. But just know that those trials are for your own betterment. It's for your own good, brothers and sisters. Trust me. It's the only way. It's the only way you're going to grow. It's the only way God going to build your faith, your patience, your long suffering, your kindness, your integrity. It's the only way. There is no other way around it. It's the only way, brothers and sisters. It's the only way. It's the only way that God going to make you perfect. It's the only way. Okay. But we're going to go ahead and keep going. All right. But that's why, I didn't laugh at my ancestors right here in Exodus 16, when they said to God, we had died by the hand of the Lord, in Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, because some of us, just like our ancestors, we complain. The Lord make us a little uncomfortable. And like I said, man, we act like the world is ending. Oh, this is it. God was trying to kill me. Nah. The Lord ain't trying to kill you, man. The Lord is he's trying to better you, man. He wants you to grow. This is the only way that you can grow. If you don't ever go through anything, you're not going to get strong. You're going to stay stagnant. He don't want you stagnant. He's trying to give you a mind like him. He's trying to show you what it means to be God. In spite of all of this going on, I'm going to do that. That's what it means to be God. Okay. But let's keep it moving, guys. I don't want to stay on this for a while. Now we're going to read verses 4 through 8. So the Lord is testing them with hunger. Verse 4. Then said the Lord unto Moses, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them, whether they will walk in my law or no. So the Lord said, hey, all right, Moses, I'm going to rain down bread from heaven for these people. Ain't no food in sight, but yet the Lord rained bread down from heaven. Who wouldn't trust a God like this? You understand, Brother Reggie Jr., I got to take that mark of the beast, man, because, I can't starve, man. I can't be hungry. I got to eat, brother. I'm sorry. But that's why things like this in Exodus is written. The Lord saying, look, I don't even need another man or an animal to help you. You remember how he sent the ravens to feed Elijah? The Lord said, I don't even need ravens. I don't need any of that stuff. I'm God. If I want to rain down bread from heaven, I will rain it down so you can eat. You're thirsty? I will have water come out of a rock so you can drink. You do not have to sell out. You do not have to bow the hand to the enemy because I can provide for you. That's what the Lord is doing here in Exodus. He's trying to build faith in Israel. That's why I trust in the Most High. I don't fear anything because I know the Most High is 100% in control. And when I went through my trials, I understood that. That's why my trials never broke me, and I wouldn't let them break me because I knew the Most High was in control regardless of what else was going on. Who said what, who was doing this. I knew that the Most High was in control and that he would see me through in the end. Okay, but let's keep going. So the Lord said he would rain bread down, and he said they were to gather a certain rate every day. Okay, so every day they were going to get this bread. Verse 5, and it says, and it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. So the Lord said on the 6th day, they're going to gather twice as much bread as they gather daily. Why? Because the Lord is getting ready to prepare them to keep his Sabbath day. Okay, and he's doing this to see whether or not they're going to be obedient to him, whether or not they're going to walk in his law or not. Because remember, guys, he has to test them before they go into the promised land. Okay, and it's no different from us. For us, we're in the wilderness right now. A lot of y'all do not believe that. I don't care whether or not you do believe it, but I believe we're in the wilderness right now in these lands that we're in. And before the Lord brings us in the promised land at his second coming, he has to see whether or not right here under this fourth beast, whether or not we are going to be obedient to him. When we got all this temptation in front of us, he wants to see whether or not we're going to be obedient. Because there's a lot of stuff going on right now here in Babylon. Okay, a lot of stuff you can partake in. And so the Lord got men's imaginations. The Lord has made sure that Rome got it laid all out for man. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Because he got his eyes on the ones who, in spite of all of that stuff going on in Babylon, he got his eyes on those who doing what he say, who's being obedient to him. This is a test, brothers and sisters. So yeah, Elon Musk, I think we're in a simulation. Yeah, in a way, yeah, we're in a simulation. Because the Lord got to see whether or not you do well in this simulation to determine when the real world comes, whether or not you're going to be able to live peacefully in that real world. To see whether or not you're worthy, I should say, of this real world that's to come. Because this heaven and earth, it's going to pass. And the Lord going to establish a new heaven and earth. So all this down here, brothers and sisters, it's just a test. That's why any pain, suffering, any of that, it's just temporary. It's just come to pass. Just like everything else will pass. And we too shall pass. All right. So let's go ahead and keep going. Verse 6, and it says, and Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel, okay, he says, at even, then you shall know that the Lord have brought you out of the land of Egypt. Okay, all right. Verse 7, and in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of the Lord. For the Lord, for that he heareth your murmuring. So he hear your complaining against the Lord. And what are we that ye murmur against us? So Moses and Aaron, they're taking themselves out of the equation. They said, listen, y'all, who are we that y'all think y'all, murmuring against? Y'all think we something great. Y'all acting like we God. Moses and Aaron like, look, we just vessels. You speaking against the Most High. Because obviously the Most High can't be here right now because no man can look on him and live. So that's why he using us. But make no mistake, y'all going against the Most High, not us. See it? And I like that for Moses and Aaron. Humility. They understand that, hey, we're just vessels. That's it. Right? Verse 8. And Moses said, this shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full. So in the morning, right? So at the beginning of the day, let's see, in the beginning of the day, they're going to get bread, okay? And then at evening, which I like to call the second half of the day, they're going to get flesh to eat, all right? So in the first half of the day, bread. Second half of the day, they're going to get flesh to eat, all right? He says, for the Lord heareth your murmurings, which ye murmur against what? Him. Because remember, they thought they was talking to Moses and Aaron, but they wasn't. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. Hey, Moses and Aaron like, look, man, y'all ain't talking to us. You talking to the Lord. Because, hey, he just simply using us. We're just a vessel in which he's operating through because he himself can't be down here. So he's operating through us. Verse 9. Okay, 9 through 15. And it says, and Moses spake unto Aaron, say unto the congregation of the children of Israel. So we still see that dynamic going where Moses is God and Aaron is Moses. Aaron is like that prophet, okay? So it's just like God is sending his prophet. So Moses, who's in the place of God, is sending his prophet Aaron to speak to the children of Israel. So Moses spake unto Aaron, saying to all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings. So the Lord said to Moses, hey, come tell these people to come to me. And then that's what Moses told Aaron to tell the children of Israel, come to me. Verse 10, and it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And we always see that, how the Lord hides himself in that cloud. And it's funny because when he comes back in his second coming, what is he coming with? The clouds. Verse 11, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, at evening ye shall know, and at even ye shall eat flesh. All right. So in the second half of the day, you're going to eat flesh. And in the morning, okay, which is the next day, ye shall be filled with bread. So it looked like they're going to get the meat first. Okay. And then after night passes and that morning comes, which is the next day, the Lord is going to give them bread. He says, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God. 13. And it came to pass that at even the quails came up and covered the camp. And in the morning the dew lay round about the host. So at evening they got the quail. So they got the meat just like the Lord told them. Okay. And then when the morning came, which was the next day, then that's when the Lord gave them the bread. But it said the dew lay round about the host. So this bread looked like dew. 14. Nah, I said that wrong. The dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay was going up, okay, like that frost covering type stuff, says, behold, upon the face of the wilderness lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. 15. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another. So they saw this stuff on the ground, and they said, it is what? Manna. For they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. So this bread, which the children of Israel, they didn't know what it was, so they called it manna. Now, later in the Bible, you find out that this manna was actually angels' food. Okay? But you can see that this manna that the Lord gave them to sustain them, they didn't know what it was. Well, it actually reminds me of something else, brothers and sisters. So let's go ahead and go to John 6. John 6. And I'm going to read verses 30 through 36. And it says, they said therefore unto him, okay, these the Jews, it says, they said therefore unto him, what sign shewest thou then, that we may see and believe thee? And that's what them Jews always wanted. They always wanted a sign. They couldn't just believe God. What doest thou work? 31. Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. And we just read that. 32. And the Lord said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is he which cometh down from heaven and giveth life unto the world. Then said they unto him, Lord, evermore give us this bread. Okay, and Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. But I said unto you that ye also have seen me and believe me not. Now, I'm going to go back to that. Now, remember in Exodus 16, they looked at that manna and they said that they didn't know what it was. Well, it was no different here, brothers and sisters. When the Father rained that manna, which was Christ, down from heaven on the earth, the children of Israel did the same thing, said the same thing. They didn't know who Jesus was. The thing that the Father rained down for the children of Israel to eat, to sustain them, to give them life, they didn't know what it was. So Jesus was also this manna. They didn't know who he was. Just like the children of Israel in Exodus didn't know what that manna was. In the New Testament, they didn't know who Jesus was, which was the true manna. Had no idea who he was. No idea. But it was that manna that would give them life, that would sustain them. Okay? But let's keep going. 16 through 21. It says, this is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered, some more, some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, so they measured it, he that gathered much had nothing left over, and he that gathered little had no lack. So they had just what they needed. They gathered every man according to his eating. 19. And Moses said, let no man leave of it till the morning, notwithstanding. So the Lord said, hey, this bread, I don't want you to leave of it till the morning. Okay? You eat what you're going to eat and you throw it out before the next day. And essentially, that's what was commanded. Okay? But they didn't hearken unto Moses, so they kept that bread. And it says, and it bred worms and it stank. And Moses was wroth with them because they didn't listen. And because in a way, that didn't show faith. Because remember, the Lord said, hey, I'm going to rain this bread down every morning, meaning every day. For 6 days, I'm going to rain this bread down. That's why Moses said, hey, that which you gather today, this bread, you're going to eat it, do whatever you do, but I don't want it laid up into the morning. Why? Because that following the morning, the Lord is going to rain down some fresh bread. He's going to provide for you again. But there were those of the children of Israel. Now I'm going to keep this manna, because what if he don't rain it down no more? He probably ain't going. So that shows you the lack of faith. Okay. And obviously, that made Moses mad. But who do you think that really made mad? The Most High. 21. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. Okay, so this manna, it melted once the sun got hot. Now I'm going to read verse 22 through 26. Now here we go. And it came to pass that on the 6th day, they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses, because the Lord is going to get ready to have them keep the Sabbath day. That's why on the 6th day, they gathered twice as much. 23. And he said unto them, this is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seethe that ye will seethe. Okay, or meaning boil. And that which remaineth over, lay up for you to be kept unto the morning. So, the Lord, look, okay, you're going to get this bread or whatnot, okay? You're going to cook. You're going to do whatever you got to do. You're going to, let me say it again. Sorry, y'all. My mind is spinning at 100 miles per hour. Okay? I got some other things on my mind concerning the word. But in other words, the Lord, cook all you're going to cook today, okay? And then eat what you're going to eat. And that which is left over from what you cook, you're going to save that up for the following day, which is going to be the Sabbath day. Because that's what you're going to use to nourish you and sustain you on that day. Why? Because the Lord wants them to rest on that day. Okay. Verse 24. And they laid it up till the morning as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. Now they could leave the bread over to that next morning, being the Sabbath, because why? They were doing it out of obedience, not unfaithfulness. That's why the worms didn't come. Okay. 25. And Moses said, eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto the Lord. And he says, today ye shall not find it in the field. In other words, Moses said, hey, on this Sabbath day today, the Lord ain't going to rain this manna down. You are not going to find it in the field. Why? Because you are supposed to be resting. You're not going to do no gathering or none of that. 26. 6 days shall ye gather, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. Because in 6 days you do all your work, and on the 7th you rest. 27 through 31. Now watch this. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none. You always got them people that's going to still try the Most High. They ain't going to believe a word he say. And so right here, they went out anyway. 28. Now watch this now. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? Now, hold on now. Them other men did it, but yet he was talking to Moses. He said, Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? So, in other words, brothers and sisters, we don't understand as a people that when one of us cross God, it affects our whole nation. Okay? Because we have this individual mindset. What do they call it? Individualite. But we don't realize that what we do affects our brothers and sisters. So when you're disobeying God, okay, and you ain't doing nothing he say, that affects the rest of your brothers and sisters. And point proven, we right here in captivity. Because majority of our brothers and sisters, they didn't want to do nothing God said. And so therefore, he put us in captivity. Both the wicked and the righteous, we right here. Because why? What you do affects your brothers and sisters. So it's selfish not to do thus saith the Lord. Because why? That's going to affect your whole nation. Because the Lord don't really see it as, well, he just didn't do it. No, the Lord looking at the whole nation. It's just like, remember Achan? He took the accursed thing, and what? It got a lot of the children of Israel killed. Okay, so it wasn't just like, oh, well, it was just Achan. No, the children of Israel, a lot of them died because of what Achan did. So what we do affects our brothers and sisters, and knowing that we need to show love by doing that which is right, so our brothers and sisters aren't negatively affected by our actions. Now, we're going to keep on reading. 29. For that the Lord hath given you the Sabbath. Therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. And the Lord specifically gave our ancestors right here that commandment. It's not that you couldn't go out, but it's just because they were so darn hard-headed, okay, that he just told them, look, just tell them to stay where they're at. Don't even go out, because he knew the temptation would be far too great for Israel in this wilderness right here. Because he knew if they was given free reign on the Sabbath, they'll be out looking for some bread. They'll be gathering wood, burning fires. That's why he was just like, just tell them to stay where they at. Don't even move. Because he knew the children of Israel. He knew how hard-headed they were. Okay. And but me personally, I choose to stay in the house on the Sabbath day because there's a lot going on out there in Babylon. And I don't want to be tempted to go to no restaurant, nothing. You know, I want to stay at home where I can focus on the Most High. Okay. Now we're going to keep reading. 32 through, no, I got to read verse 31. It says, in the house of Israel called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seed. So it was like coriander seed, it was small, and it was white. And the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. Oh man, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I love that taste right there. It's that wafer taste. 32 through 36. And it says, and Moses said, this is the thing which the Lord commandeth. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generation. So the Lord said, I want y'all to keep some of this manna because it's going to be for a memorial, that they may see who is the day, those Israelites in the future, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness when I brought you forth out of the land of Egypt. Why? Because the Lord wants his children in the future to see this, so that way they don't ever feel like they got to sell out, and that way they don't ever feel like they got to depend on their enemies for what they need. They can look at that and say, that's right. When our ancestors literally had nothing, and I mean that with a capital N, when they literally had nothing, the Lord provided for them. So guess what? We ain't got to go run our enemies for what we need, because we got a God right here that'll provide for us. That's what this thing is about right here. Keeping the manna stored up for later generation. So that way they know there's a God that will provide for us. 33. And it says, and Moses said unto Aaron, take a pot and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before the Lord to be kept for future generations. Like I said, for a memorial. 34. And the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. And as you guys can see, and I have to just mention it, but remember that dynamic, I explained a little early in the lesson, but remember that dynamic when when the children of Israel was back in Egypt. Remember how the Lord made Moses a god, and Aaron basically took Moses' place as like the prophet. It's funny how the Lord is still keeping that dynamic right here. He command Moses, and Aaron, the Lord commands Moses. Moses commands Aaron, and Aaron performs it. Okay, 35. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years. My goodness. So the manna in the quail, it was just manna, quail, manna, quail, manna, quail. 40 years of that. Until they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an omer is the 10th part of an ephah. Let me see if I want to do Exodus 17, because I don't want to do no overloading. Yeah, let's go ahead and do Exodus 17, because I didn't want to do too much, but I think I'm okay with this. So Exodus 17, and now I'm going to read verses 1 through 7 first. And it says, And the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys, according to the commandment of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. And remember, the children of Israel, they're still in testing. As long as they are in this wilderness before they reach the land of Canaan, they are going to be under the test, under the trial. Okay, so there was no water for the people to drink. Verse 2. Wherefore the people did chide, meaning they contended with Moses, and said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide with me? Why are you striving with me? Wherefore do ye tempt the Lord? Moses like, hey, you ain't talking to me. You talking to the Most High. I'm just a vessel on this on this earth. Okay. Verse 3. And the people thirsted there for water, and the people murmured against Moses and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? And the crazy thing is they kept talking to Moses, but the children of Israel could never see God in any of this, because the problem with the children of Israel is they always see a man. They never see God's hand. That's why they say, Moses, give us. Moses, Moses, Moses. But it ain't got nothing to do with Moses. Moses is being used by the Most High, and the children of Israel couldn't see that. No, how about you say, hey, Moses, can you pray to the Lord God and ask him to give us some water? But they acting like Moses got the power. Moses didn't have no power, and Moses himself knew that. That's why Moses like, hey, I'm just a vessel. You ain't tempting me. Hey, you tempting the Lord. Okay? And by this time, you would think the children of Israel would have faith in the Most High. And remember, guys, the Lord, what was, I don't think I didn't read the scripture, but in Matthew 6 and 8, Christ explained how, before you even ask, the Lord already, the Father already knows what you have need of. You don't think the Lord knew that the children of Israel was thirsty? No, he knew that. He was just proving them. Okay? And Israel, too, we don't react very well when we're in pain and we're under pressure. We say some of the most off-the-wall stuff, man. We don't have any etiquette at all. When we are uncomfortable or in some kind of pain, Israel will let you know. You trying to freaking kill us, man. You want us to die. Like, you don't have to react like that, man. Just have some etiquette. Hey, Lord, I'm really thirsty. We haven't ate, we haven't drunk anything in a few days. Lord, please rain down some water for us so that way we may drink. Not Israel. God, you try to kill us. You try to destroy all our children. Why you ain't just leave us? And that's how Israel react. Absolutely no etiquette. None. Now the saints have etiquette, but them wicked ones among the children of Israel, man, they a mess, man. They are a mess. Okay. verse 4, it says, and Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, what shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. So they was thinking about actually killing Moses. They was going to stone him, okay? Because they were blaming him for their problems. So they was actually going to harm Moses. Verse 5. And that's going to allude to something that Aaron did later on. But we going to get to that when we get to it. But yeah, they was ready to kill Moses. And it says, and the Lord said unto Moses, go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel in thy rod wherewith thou smotest the river. Take in thine hand and go. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. And guys, it was never about the rock. It was never about Moses smiting it, which it wouldn't be Moses smiting it. It would be technically Aaron doing it, because that dynamic is still there. But it was never about the rod, nothing. The Lord is showing all of these signs so that the children of Israel can believe and have faith in him. That's why he was showing these signs. But nevertheless, them signs ain't enough for Israel. They just don't believe. 7. And he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah because of the chiding, meaning the contention of the children of Israel. And because they tempted the Lord, saying, is the Lord among us or not? So they didn't believe in the Lord. They didn't believe in God at all. They didn't believe God was truly among them. They still, in their mind, they really do believe it was Moses and Aaron doing all of this stuff. They didn't see God's hand nowhere in the things that were being done. And that's a dangerous outlook to have, brothers and sisters. Now we're going to finish this up, verses 8 through 16. Now Israel finna have some enemies. It says, they in the wilderness, okay, they in Rephidim. It says, then came Amalek. Okay, and I believe Amalek is one of the sons of Esau. He's of Edom. Okay, it says, and fought with Israel in Rephidim. So all while they're being tested, here come an external enemy. And Moses said unto Joshua, okay, oh, so we see the Lord has already been dealing with Joshua. He says, choose us out men. And I like to say Joshua right here because the Lord right here is already grooming Joshua to take Moses' place. Okay, he says, choose us out men, Joshua, and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God on my hand. Verse 10. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy. He was like, uh-oh, my hands, them shoulders was burning. It says, and they took a stone and put it under him. And he sat thereon, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands. So they held up his hands. One on the one side and the other on the other side. See, don't work harder, work smarter. I remember I used to hear that saying, and that's what they doing. They working smarter, not harder. It says, and his hands were steady unto the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book. So you're going to write this war down with Amalek in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from what? Generation to generation. So the Lord, in other words, the Lord say, I'm going to be on Amalek case from generation to generation. But that is that is the end of this lesson, brothers and sisters. I enjoyed doing it. I'm a little tired. I'm super tired. I think I really need to get my sleep. But I enjoyed doing that lesson. I hope you guys got some understanding, and I will see you in the next one. Shalom.